that he called Comey a showboat and a grandstander. This is from the NBC interview, and said he wanted him out because the FBI was in turmoil, which is in direct contradiction.
Diminished bipolar.
Director of the FBI, Mr.
This got put
today on testimony.
May 11, 2017.
But I was going to say, Brooke, you know, I want to make clear to people, when you're talking about obstruction charges and the different stories and narratives that are coming out of the White House and among the staff, we talk about we talk about obstruction of justice. Now, in order
Man is sick. Trump is sick.
The more
he contradicts himself. He's bipolar. He's a schizophrenic. This is the imbecile, ignoramus, petulant that we have a president in this country.
Actually can undermine a prosecutor's...
That's what the problem in this country, because the Americans are ignorant, and they have churches all over the place raping the brain of children, and these children grow up to be senators, congress, and a piece of garbage president.
Political motivation.
Psychotic. Cry psychotic.
Partisan.
There you have it, friends.
Reasons and motive. The law has been written far more vaguely to try to be a backstop for criminal prosecution failures.
No, they have to impeach this piece of shit.
Two articles.
The whole Congress are Republican, blind piece of garbage, ignoramuses. Christian pieces of shit. That's what the Republican Congress is. The senators are not morons.
Politically,
they cannot see reality.
Criminally.
Got it.
See?
Let me hit pause on all of you. I know we have...
May 11, 2017. We have a schizophrenic, theotarded, narcissistic, petulant, immoral, racist, homophobe, dictator wannabe, lover of Mussolini and Hitler, the Christian Hitler and Christian Mussolini, and also the Christian KKK. And Americans are so stupid they don't realize we have a little lunatic, a Christianity-infected imbecile as President of the United States. And the stupid Christianity-infected Congress don't see it. Even the mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, scientists, neurologists in the United States of America do not see that religion itself, faith, is a brain HIV, is a mental disorder, it's a dangerous cancer. And this is a spread in churches. They've been raping the brain of children. That's the reason the United States is a Christianity-infected nation. And I've been saying that, and here are my predictions. Listen to this. This is me 5 years ago. I put this video May 11, 2012. So just call me prophet, okay, guys? Call me prophet. Here I am. I only speak the truth, and I'm very blunt. The brain is the creator of thinking. We are all product of a spit of semen DNA by a penis into a cock, cave of creation. That's what we were created, in the womb, in a flooded cave with no oxygen. We didn't have the lungs, didn't work. We didn't get the spirit, which is air in the lungs, until we emerged from the cave of creation, from our mother's vagina, from the uterus. That's what, with the womb, that's what we came in. All of us, we are nothing but evolved mutated primates. You believe in God, you're a theotard, you're an imbecile, you're moronic, and you have a problem with the brain. No different than schizophrenia. And we have a president that is bipolar, that is schizophrenic, believing in resurrecting somebody that said with blood, he's an imbecile, there's nothing is coming or going, petulant and narcissistic, and we are in trouble. It's very dangerous to have an imbecile like that as president. The brain creates thinking. That's it. And this is Kapun Piso. This is me. 5 years ago. May 11, 2012. Here. Yeah, we know the brain creates thinking. Now, we have to remember, and this is a fact, the brain creates the mind, creates thought. It's proven in neurology lab. No if or but, it's reality, science. Now, like 2 + 2 = 4. No other number. Now, when the brain has a problem, disconnected, and only the children have an excuse, and very, very, very ignorant, but children have an excuse. Children, 2, 3 years old, during the pregnant period. When the brain has hypophoba, that means, I created this, imaginary friend or foe irrational belief acceptance. When the brain has I-4 fever, it has a problem, it has a disconnect. And I-4 fever is found in all religions, all of them, and that includes conspiracy theories on faith and all that stuff. It's found in all religions and schizophrenias, temporal lobe epilepsy, bipolar, OCD, depression, many epilepsy, many disorders. I-4 fever, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance, created by the brain. So I-4 fever denotes mental problems, mental dysfunction, a disconnect. In other words, it's like seeing 2 + 2 equals any number you think it is except 4. And that happens in all religions, it happens in all schizophrenias. That's exactly what's happening to Trump. That's the reason he's bipolar. He says one thing, and he believes it. It's not like he's bullshitting. He just believes it because he's sick. He's sick. He's mentally sick. And now, here I am. I explained it to you. Here I am, 5 years ago. A little bit younger.
Hi friends, this is Kapun Piso. I'm going to make some comparative analysis between the bizarre mathematical beliefs found in all religions, especially Christianity, which I call Christ psychosis, and also disorders like, schizoaffective disorder.
And you see, I'm saying bizarre mathematical beliefs. That's I-4 fever, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief acceptance. At core of all religions and all schizophrenias. What do you do when you go to church? You pray, right? What's prayer? Prayer is telepathic communication with imaginary friends. It happens in schizophrenia. All religions have prayers. You bow and you pray to your imaginary friend. Things that do not exist. That's bizarre mathematical belief. That's I-4 fever.
One of them is the perception of things. You see things and you try to make sense of it, of images, and they are distorted because of your brain, and this is called pareidolia. When you see images on things and clouds, and you see a Virgin Mary on a sandwich, and you can see Jesus on the cloud, and the demon on this, and spirits and all that. That is pareidolia, which is a disorder. It's a psychosis. And all religions are filled with psychosis, with bizarre mathematical beliefs, acceptance. So religion is simply organized as schizophrenia. Nobody seems to see that. The facts are there. We create the mind. We create thoughts with our brains.
Listen to Kapun Piso 2012. He's correct. The brain creates the mind, creates thoughts, creates thinking. This is proven in neurology lab. Let me operate the brain of the precuneus, the locus coeruleus. Let me operate it, including to the clueless atheists, mentally healthy atheists. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground in this respect, because they don't realize that the brain is creating their science and the thinking and everything else. Let me operate it and see Dr. Krauss, Dawkins, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bill Nye, and all the clueless scientists that they never complain about having a piece of garbage, Trump, and the rest of lunatics, Christian imbecile in the Senate as mentally ill, as the mental schizophrenic that don't belong in Congress or the President of the United States. They belong in asylums. And they don't say it, and shame on them. That's the reason we have this problem in this country. And listen to him. That's me. Because we're all different. We'll learn more every day. We die at night. When we lose consciousness, we resurrect in the morning. But we get a noonday, new information. Smarter.
Trauma to the brain can cause a spirituality, can cause a problem. And also temperature can affect the brain. Lack of sleep can affect the brain. It can create these delusions. High fever and temperature can actually make you hallucinate. Drugs can make you hallucinate. No, so it's an absurdity when people, no doubt, Christianity infected scientists and neurologists that shouldn't have no reason to be on the field. They shouldn't have giving a license to practice medicine, having an infected brain that accept imaginary friends like resurrecting zombies as true. But regardless, these people obviously are defective, and they call themselves psychologists or psychiatrists, but believe in some in Jesus. And there's scientists like that too, like Francis Collins, which, you know, the mental illness of schizophrenia and temporal lobe epilepsy, they do not discriminate, like Alzheimer's and dementia, cognitive dissonance. They don't discriminate. Can affect all of us. And the moment you start accepting bizarre myth and magic belief as true, you do have a problem. And it seems like all religions, at the root of all religious faith and beliefs, stands bizarre myth and magical beliefs of imaginary friends.
It's correct. Just go to church. Go to a mosque, go to a synagogue, go to a Hindu temple. Get to any of those places, and you'll see people being completely expressing their schizophrenia, their mental illness, because they're talking to a imaginary friend. All of them. There's no exception. No exception at all. Find me one religion that doesn't have the rituals of that don't act like a schizophrenics. Just go to a hospital, a mental hospital, and talk to schizophrenic, epileptics, and people with problems with the brain, and see they talk exactly identical like the religious. The imaginary friends, names are different, but the same thing.
These are not there, false beliefs, which is a schizophrenia. So, religion is simply, you know, people have a problem with the brains with these beliefs, and we are all created by coitus. Sperm and egg. Then 9 months later, we emerge from our mother's cave, and like you believe. Then during imprinting period, we start, you know, making sense of the world. And they grow up, you know, learning the language of the parents, the culture, the everything. But in the moment that you cannot tell between fact and fiction, and you get educated in all life, so you're growing up, and of course, religious is everywhere, religious faith and beliefs. Then it is fair to say you suffer from a neurological disorder, not unlike a schizophrenia.
Don't forget, Putin was a KGB agent. You have to be very smart.
Had to readjust their
Look what's happening.
Of what exactly led President Trump to fire the director of the FBI, James Comey. The initial reason was that it was based upon recommendations from the Deputy Attorney General, which then was totally tossed out based upon this NBC interview that the president just sat down for a little while ago. Minutes before the briefing, he revealed that he was planning to fire Jim Comey no matter what he was advised. Here he was.
Look, he's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. You take a look at the
And of course, it's so simple. The man is a schizophrenic, narcissistic, a billionaire that only thinks about himself. Look at this country. He doesn't give a shit. Nothing about anybody else. Trump cares about himself, his family, his money. He's obsessed with power. He's obsessed with himself, just like Hitler and Mussolini. He's getting rid of the press. He's getting rid of everything like everybody. And Trump is becoming little by little a dictator. Slowly. And Americans are so stupid they don't realize it. And he has all the piece of garbage, demented Republican imbeciles under his thumb. They're scared of him. All the Republicans and the Democrats are pussies. They don't call him for what he is. But he has all the power because he has all the Congress are Republican piece of garbage. All Christianity affected imbeciles. Like Pence. It's like a new inquisitor. Piece of garbage Christian imbecile. Moronic. And this is the problem. And you see it. When you have a problem with the brain, you express it in the stuff that we see on Trump. That people don't recognize because they're too ignorant of neurology and how the brain works.
And that's believing God. There are tons of religions and tons of God as many as the brain can create. In other words, God does not exist outside the brain that creates it. And this is a fact. Here are some clips and showing what I'm saying is true. Pareidolia is very dangerous and make people believe and accept, things, and see things that are not there. And all related also to, in many ways, to sex, which creates orgasm, makes people feel good. Dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin in the brain. Now, this is the organ that initiated our existence by spitting DNA into our mother's cave. 9 months later, we emerge with a brand new computer, a brain to navigate the planet.
Nobody mentions this. No one realized that we create thinking by the brain and we originated by a spit of semen from a cock. In other words, the true God, the true creator God that created our brain is our penis, is the penis of our fathers. We're evolved mutated primates, and nobody sees it, and nobody say it. They're stupid, like it doesn't exist. Like sex doesn't exist, and we don't have a penis hanging between our legs, and the ladies have a vagina hanging between their legs, and nipples and tits and all that bunch of stuff. We are primates. We're crazy freak primates, product of evolution. Billions of years. Imbeciles, learn science. And these are the facts, and this is the problem we have today in this country.
This is the organ that creates our thoughts, our mind, and also can be infected, and when it malfunctions, creates God, some we got believe. This is a slab, a marble slab, which, you know, many people saw Christ in it, but I just basically saw the origin of penis Christ. This is called pareidolia.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was a bunch of Christians. They have this black slab of marble over in Texas or someplace like that. Back is, you know, all those Christianity infected imbeciles. So anyway, they believe that they saw Christ on a piece of marble, so they put it on a church. They're trying to buy it, you know, because it represented Christ. Well, it is. You can see whatever you want, but I saw an orgy. I saw, you know, look, this is what I saw. I saw Jesus Christ here, with his penis right there. I saw another penis going over here, and another one going. It's just, look.
Infect Christians. There's another one, which is so by a cancer patient, because when your brain malfunctions, it makes you see God. The spirituality is caused by a brain malfunction. Also, this is proven by Dr. Cosimo Urgesi in Italy.
Google them. Spirituality is caused by also trauma into the brain, can cause to see ghosts and demons and the spiritual and the white tunnel because you're getting close to death. See, it's all in the brain.
Brain damage causes spirituality. Mental illness. It makes you believe in Winnie the Pooh and rest of bizarre but magical beliefs as if they were true. If you are in prayer, you are psychotic. Because if your brain is healthy, you are an atheist. Well, I conclude, the brain creates thought, the mind. When the brain malfunctions, it cannot tell between fantasy and reality due to disease. Then it creates imaginary friends. In other words, gods and all bizarre metamagical beliefs.
I'll explain to you what happened. At least it makes sense because I connected that. Now, when you want to conquer something, you use deception, like a Trojan horse. That idea. So, you go into the weakness of a person, of your foe or your enemy, but you pretend to be his friend, and you show power and strength, just like Vladimir Putin. KGB, very, very smart. Smarter than the dumb piece of garbage Trump. So, I'm certain that he plotted because, you know, the way to defeat people nowadays is through electronics, through the internet, and all that, false information. So, do all the hacking, all this stuff that he did, and Trump got elected. Now, I'm pretty sure he has something with Trump because Trump likes pussy. He likes also power, and he's narcissistic. He thinks he's the greatest. So he fueled that into Trump. And, and he succeeded. So Trump is controlled by Putin. He has something on him. And that's very obvious. And Trump doesn't know what to do. Because the guy is extremely ignorant. He took the bait. Putin is extremely smart. Very, very brilliant. He's a very, very smart guy. He knows what he wants. And Putin is very ignorant. Like America is the most ignorant, stupid nation on the planet. It's like a gorilla with a machine gun. Very powerful, but very stupid. Because the people are dumb and uneducated and ridiculous, all Christianity-infected imbeciles. And they ran the country. They're on top, the ignoramuses. So, of course, Putin took advantage of that. Very smart.
Continue.
Let me tell you why all these problems with Russia and Trump. You know, he met. The American press was not allowed in the Oval Office when Trump met with Kislyak and the other Russian ambassador and shook his hand. He didn't want that handshake to be seen. But the Russians, they want to control the United States of America. They're brilliant. Putin is brilliant. So because Trump is a puppet. And I tell you why he's a puppet. The Russians made those pictures public. This is just yesterday, it's a couple days ago. And see, this is what I believe, that I suspect. Trump is a very important person, a lot of millions, a lot of things. From 10 years, 15 years, he's been always very important, running around and doing all these pageants, beauty pageants and all that in Russia and all this bunch of stuff, dealing with Russians. The guy's, you know, billionaire and all this stuff, doing all these things. So, and he likes women and all this stuff, and he's a petulant, narcissistic piece of garbage. So, when he was in Russia, this is my hypothesis. This is what I suspect. The Russians are very clever. They always put cameras and record people. They want to collect information and have a file just like G. Edgar Hoover did. Everybody that is important, they would put cameras in the hotel rooms and stuff like that. They're very smart. Russians are very smart. And I bet Trump, when he was in Russia many, many years back, he didn't realize that there were cameras in his place. And I bet you he has some little orgies over there with some of these women. And the Russians recorded a lot of stuff about Trump. Naked and all that. Probably the size of his dick is probably about this big. And with all these women and doing whatever the women were wanted to do. Probably spank him and make him feel, play with his hair and all that stuff, doing all this bunch of stuff. And I bet you the Russians have all that on video and on tape. And nobody knew about it until now he becomes president. There was the rumors. Remember the rumors that they had something on him and they probably asked him, I said, oh no, this is false, this is false. They are not false. I believe they are true. And that's what they have on him. And that's the reason Trump is stuck. We're having a piece of garbage, a traitor in a way, because the Russians have a lot on him. Just imagine the image. Well, so that's why he's treating the Russians very good. In my opinion, this is what I believe. You know, that this is very much of a possibility because Trump is acting like a Russian agent. And I believe this is what they have on him. We'll see. Things are getting interesting. Don't forget this. You have to be very smart to be in the KGB. You have to be very intelligent, speak many languages, use different weapons, and record and video and do all kind of stuff to people. Gather information all the time. Look at this. Putin asked me to meet. Putin, ask him. Putin is in control. Check it out. People don't see this. It's obvious.
This election,
look at this.
And that includes looking at the Trump team and what they might have been doing. Now we move on to this most recent testimony where he talked about the Clinton emails with Huma Abedin and everything. There seems to be this overstatement, these false statements being made there, which the White House can now say these were mistakes of his. And there's this question of him asking for more money or resources for the investigation, which the Department of Justice says did not happen. But it all leads up to Comey being fired here. If you listen to what the White House is saying and what the president is saying, effectively what he's saying is this plain-spoken candidate, the guy who always said what he thought, that all this time he actually had problems with James Comey, that he was never really in James Comey's corner, and he was always thinking about getting rid of him, and finally decided to finish it off. But if you listen to critics of this administration, they're saying, no, this is where it all happened. Once you got past the inauguration, once it became clear that Russia was a big item on the investigative plate of James Comey, that's when the president started seeing big problems with what he does. How we're going to find the truth in this, I don't know, Brooke.
See? That's the thing. That is the problem.
Accept them being as true. It's the same like children, 2 or 3-year-old children that cannot tell between fantasy and reality and believe Tooth Fairy, Winnie the Pooh to be real characters. The same occurs on educated adults that are infected with faith in God, which is an imaginary friend. So keep your brain healthy. If you believe in God, you're a theotard. If you're a Christian, you better have your brain checked out because you do have a problem. We're in the 21st century, not the 12th. Neurology proves the brain is the one that creates the bizarre mythological beliefs of God when it malfunctions, just like in schizoaffective disorders like schizotypus, schizophrenia, temporal lobe epilepsy, etc., etc. And also, if you ingest psychotropic drugs. What you doing?
See? And they don't see it. I watch this and nobody talks about the brain. Nobody talks about that Trump is sick. Neurologists don't stand up. Scientists, mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, clueless scientists don't stand up and say that Trump is a sick man. And the same thing with Mitch McConnell. This gizzard, old, senile piece of garbage, racist, imbecile Christian, that it shouldn't belong in the mental institution, not in the Senate. And there are a lot of these senators, they are clueless. They're ignorant people. They're thinking about themselves. And nobody questions that. Nobody questions the sanity, the brain of these people. So, hey, truth hurts. I know. And we have to actually mention that. As I said here, in 2012, Pace Diorum, it's getting interesting. Trump should be impeached and placed in a mental institution, along with a lot of the piece of garbage Republican senators are blind and clueless. Truth will set you free. And I'm blunt, and I speak the truth. 2 + 2 = 4. Not that any number, any moronic, Christianity-infected imbecile with a bad brain think it is. They're going to make it so. Pace Diorum.